There was a point in my journey where I realized something unsettling. Not dramatic, not loud, just quietly undeniable. I wasn't living from my power. I was living from my fear. Not fear of danger, fear of being seen, fear of being wrong, fear of taking up space in a world that taught me to shrink. My fire wasn't gone, it was dimmed, buried under expectations, survival patterns, and the weight of other people's opinions. And one day, something in me whispered, "You don't need permission to shine." Before I could rise into purpose, before I could act with clarity, before I could speak with truth, I had to return to the flame at the center of my being, the solar plexus, the fire of courage, the home of personal power. I'm Kaththea. Welcome to Ascended Spirit Amplifiers. If you're drawn to confidence, purpose, and the kind of truth that burns away doubt, settle in. Let's begin. Why I created this melt. I didn't create this melt because I wanted confidence. I created it because I needed courage. I needed to stop dimming myself to make others comfortable. I needed to stop apologizing for my power. I needed to stop abandoning my purpose every time fear whispered louder than truth. The solar plexus chakra is the seat of your personal fire, your will, your confidence, your ability to act with integrity and direction. When it's blocked, you hesitate. When it opens, you move with clarity, purpose, and radiant strength. This blend is a reminder that your fire is sacred, not something to fear, not something to hide, but something to honor. Why these stones chose me. I didn't choose these stones because of what they symbolize. I chose them because of what my body did when I held them. Citrine made my chest lift, like joy returning after a long drought. Tiger's eye made my spine straighten, like my ancestors saying, "Stand tall." Pyrite made my breath deepen, like my spirit remembering its own authority. These stones didn't give me power. They reminded me that I already had it. Solar plexus melt ingredient lineage. Beeswax, the sacred flame of inner power. Beeswax has carried the fire of transformation for thousands of years, from ancient temples to ancestral hearths. Its golden flame has always symbolized resilience, clarity, and the courage to act. In solar plexus work, beeswax becomes a steady vessel for your inner fire, teaching your spirit how to burn bright without burning out. Citrine, the radiant awakener. Citrine is sunlight in solid form, warm, clarifying, and life-giving. It dissolves emotional heaviness and awakens optimism where doubt once lived. This stone reminds your solar plexus that joy is not a reward, it is fuel. Tiger's eye, the ancestral protector. Tiger's eye carries the grounded courage of those who walk before you, the ones who acted with clarity even when the path was uncertain. It sharpens discernment, strengthens will, and anchors your decisions in ancestral wisdom. This stone teaches your fire to move with purpose, not impulse. Pyrite, the manifestor's shield. Pyrite is the fire-forged guardian of your purpose. It protects your energy from doubt, distraction, and external influence, helping you stay aligned with what your spirit is building. Pyrite reminds you that confidence is not loud, it is consistent. Grapefruit, the uplifter. Grapefruit awakens the spirit with bright, invigorating energy, the kind that makes you want to move, act, and create. It cuts through stagnation and reignites momentum. This oil teaches your solar plexus how to rise with joy instead of pressure. Lemon, the clarifier. Lemon is the blade that cuts through emotional fog. It sharpens focus, clears mental clutter, and brings your intentions into crisp alignment. This oil reminds your fire that clarity is a form of power. Frankincense, the bridge between worlds. Frankincense has always been the breath of sacred spaces, a bridge between the physical and the divine. It steadies the nervous system and reconnects you to your higher purpose. In solar plexus work, it aligns your actions with your spirit's truth. Helichrysum, the everlasting strength. Helichrysum is the flower that never fades, a symbol of endurance, healing, and emotional resilience. It supports the solar plexus in releasing old wounds around failure, shame, or self-worth. The botanical teaches your fire how to rise again and again. Calendula, the inner light. Calendula brings warmth to the places where your confidence dimmed. It nurtures self-worth gently, but persistently, like sunlight returning after a long night. This flower reminds your solar plexus that your light is needed. Silk tree blossoms, the joy medicine. Silk tree blossoms carry the medicine of emotional uplift, soft, heart-opening, and quietly liberating. They dissolve heaviness and invite joy back to the body. This botanical teaches your fire that joy is not a distraction, it is direction. Why they work together. This melt is built like a flame, each ingredient feeding the next. The beeswax holds the fire. The stones strengthen the will. The botanicals uplift the spirit. The oils ignite clarity and action. Together, they create a space where confidence becomes natural, purpose becomes clear, and your inner fire rises without apology. The power of making your own tools. There's something I always want to make clear before we begin. Making your own tools isn't just creative, it's sovereign. When you craft something with your own hands, you're not just making a melt. You're declaring, my power comes from within me. Every ingredient you choose, every intention you set, every moment you spend creating, it all becomes a reclamation of your authority, your will, your fire. Your tools don't have to look like mine. They don't have to be perfect. They only have to be yours, shaped by your energy, your lineage, your truth. This is how you step back into your power, not by consuming, but by creating. Solar Plexus Chakra Wax Melt, the creation process. You will need 12 ounces of beeswax pellets, 2 tablespoons of organic unrefined virgin coconut oil, 60 drops of lemon essential oil, 90 drops of grapefruit essential oil, and 90 drops of frankincense essential oil. 6 teaspoons each, small citrine, tiger's eye, and pyrite pieces, 6 helichrysum bracteatum heads, 18 to 24 dried calendula flowers, 6 teaspoons dried silk tree blossoms. All the products that I use are listed in the description box. Quality proven, trial tested, and budget conscious. The cookie sheets and storage jars are from the Dollar Tree. And no, I'm not sponsored by anyone but Spirit. Gratitude to the Most High, that is. I do make a small commission if you buy through the links. This batch makes 6 large amplifiers, to which you can cut into quarters, plenty to keep your personal practice flowing for weeks, or to gift someone who could use a little reignition? Step 1. Prepare your workspace. Set up your candle wax warmer or hot plate in a well-ventilated area. Lay out your pot, stirrer, thermometer, and molds. Gather your gemstones and botanicals, and pre-measure your essential oils in a small bowl. This is where your intention begins, not in the wax, but in your presence. Step 2. Melt the beeswax. Add 12 ounces of pure beeswax to your pot and melt it over low to medium heat, around 145 to 160 degrees Fahrenheit. Beeswax melts slowly on purpose. It teaches you to move with intention, not urgency. Stir gently as it liquefies, letting the golden wax mirror the fire you're calling back into your center. Keep the temperature steady, never above 180 degrees Fahrenheit. Too much heat can burn the wax, dull the oils, and scorch the botanicals. Step 3. Add coconut oil. Once the melted beeswax reaches 160 degrees Fahrenheit, remove it from the heat and add 2 tablespoons of organic coconut oil. This softens the final melt, helps it release from the mold, and improves scent diffusion. It's the reminder that strength and softness can coexist in the same flame. Step 4. Infuse the essential oils. Breath of clarity and courage. Stir and allow the wax to cool to 135 to 140 degrees Fahrenheit, the temperature where essential oils stay potent and alive. Then add your pre-measured 60 drops grapefruit, 90 drops lemon, 90 drops frankincense. Stir slowly, letting the scent become bright, clarifying, and deeply centering. A breath that says, I remember my purpose. Step 5. Prepare the molds. Before pouring, prepare each mold like a tiny altar. Into each cavity, add several small citrine, tiger's eye, and pyrite, evenly distributed. A helichrysum head for resilience and everlasting strength, and 3 to 4 calendula flowers for inner light and self-worth. 1 teaspoon of silk tree blossoms for joy and emotional uplift. These botanicals and stones don't just decorate. They anchor the melt in your will, your joy, and your capacity to act. Step 6. Pour the wax. Pour a thin layer of wax into each mold first. This helps the botanicals and stones settle and prevents floating. Let it thicken for a moment, not fully set, just enough to hold. This first layer is like your first act of courage. Small, but foundational. Step 7. Add the remaining wax. Let the fire claim its form. Once the first layer grips the botanicals and gemstones, pour the remaining wax slowly over the top, like a golden flame filling its vessel. Pour with intention, knowing this tool is being built to hold your power, not replace it. Step 8. Let them set. Do not rush the fire. Allow the melts to cool and solidify naturally for a minimum of 24 hours. No freezer, no fridge, no rushing. The solar plexus is the center of integration. It asks for time to align will, emotion, and action. Let the melts honor that. Once fully cooled, remove them from the molds and store them in an airtight container. They're ready for your next solar plexus activation, your next moment of choosing courage over contraction, truth over shrinking, and fire over fear. Before we move into the meditation, I want to remind you of something essential. Meditation especially solar plexus energy work, is an act of self-authority. I always encourage you to move from your own inner command, not from my voice, not from anyone else's. No one can tell you how your fire should feel. No one can tell you how your confidence should rise. No one can tell you how your purpose should move through your body. You are the only one who knows the rhythm of your own power. You just need to be aware it is there. Take what resonates, leave what does not, and follow the sensations that feel true. Your meditation doesn't have to be bold to be powerful. It doesn't have to be intense to be real. It only has to be authentic. This is your fire, your will, your energy, your present moment. Solar Plexus Meditation, the flame that remembers you. Before you act, you align. Before you rise, you ignite. Settle into your space, not to escape, but to return to yourself. Let your shoulders soften. Let your breath drop lower. Let your awareness move into the warm center beneath your ribs, where the solar plexus energy lives. If it aligns with your practice, place one hand over your solar plexus like you're holding a small sun. Feel the warmth of your palm. Feel the subtle movement beneath your hand. Feel the quiet power gathering in your core. On your inhale, imagine drawing breath directly into your solar plexus. On your exhale, let hesitation begin to dissolve, not vanish, just lose its authority. Now imagine a golden flame flickering in your center, not a wildfire, not a blaze, just a steady, radiant flame, alive, warm, undeniable. This is your fire, your courage, your purpose, your truth. Let the flame grow, slowly, naturally, without force. Let it illuminate the places where doubt once lived. Let it warm the parts of you that learned to shrink. Let it burn away the stories that were never yours. If it resonates, speak softly. I do with courage, purpose, and radiant strength. I honor the fire within me. It is sacred, ancestral, and true. I release doubt and rise with divine confidence. My power is rooted in love and guided by wisdom. I am worthy of success, joy, and self-respect. Let the flame expand inward, filling your ribs, your spine, your breath, your entire center. Feel it rise up in your chest, not as ego, but as truth. Feel it move down your belly, not as pressure, but as certainty. Feel it radiate outward, not to prove anything, but to be. You're not forcing confidence. You are remembering it. Stay here for as long as your body asks. When you feel complete, place a hand over your heart and whisper, "Gratitude, I rise." Then return to the room, not leaving your fire behind, but carrying it with you. Thanks for watching. If something in this video resonated with you, honoring that with a like helps this work find the people who are meant to see it. And I'd love to hear your reflections in the comments. It's always beautiful to see how these messages land for different people. And by all means, share it with anyone you think might benefit. If you want to keep exploring with me, make sure you're subscribed. I share new videos every week, and each one builds on this journey in its own way. Please never forget, my intent is your ascent. See you next time.